is author of the whole, author is the only the Lord knows. And all cherishing of the Lord, all churches accepting on the Lord love. The Lord is honoring a creator who said, tell me who is and churches cheating the Lord. Tell him not. Tell who is change is the law of the Lord. Cheering a man, change breaking of Lord. Changing the Lord. Position time is equal ruling. Challenges, Lord, shall of order and law, changing a man, taking law of God. If a lost life, mine and the law, Shiva, human being, lost from the east.
Caawa studio buu isku furan yahay live buu isku socdaa YouTube livekii Facebook livekiisna Facebookna waa live studio caawa buu isku furan yahay YouTube-kuna waa live
Related human wanted.
Facebookuna waa on halkaas hawadooda ka wada soconaya hawada ka wada shaqeynaya live kusii jira wow studio caawa waa furan thank you guys
reality left of the low and the low side. Bring the creator, let this the evil is your ruler. Thank you, my Lord. Your time passing away, big bang for the going. You should not be then you'll not be a liar. You should not be a cheater. Then you'll not be a criminal. You should not hate the ugly. Then you'll not be selfish. Because faggot to the soul is better for your life. Still remember you not to persuade. Think that it's good in the air because there is rain. It's contradicting to the past. Your time passes away. Think back, holy going. You should be sanctified. You should be straight through. You should be straight thinker. You should be right. We are, you should be right. Thanks now, you should be right. Because faggot to the sun is better for your life. Still remember you're not so sweet. Feel that it's full in the air. Because there is rain. It's fun to be between good and bad. Your time passes away, think back, holy going in. You should not against your Lord, you should not against the truth, you shouldn't against the book of law, you shouldn't against David to be like unto, you shouldn't against yourself only. remember you not but to it. Jesus is pulling the air because it is rain. It's a boundary between good and bad. Your time passing away, seems like it only going. You should be you, you should be you, sing for praise. You should be you, victory now. You should be you, better close for this weekday. You should be you, better find for the going. Because pagar proteção is better for your life. Be remember you not but wait. Be self-is because it is great. It's wonder if it's we good and bad. Thank you. Learning lost prophecy, making a difficult Moses questioning, Marcos punishment, money job, taking him someone flower, maybe all the lost, meaning cost lost. Most back the class, more movement, meaning understand, but you not pass, but evil trap, making points of loss, meaning cheap, cheap. Making falls for us, mercy for more we lost the thread, more we lost the vision. Making money, my more selfish and making a mistake, misleading a lie. Man can in people, misreading a fool, mystery party high master creator high, meaning of God, most selfish. Make an example, more human and free. Most prophets like Patrick, most that question equals the one. Mystery of the man and son of son, making passing away, more pleading with his father, making a conscious heart, a good cry. Massive killing of many people, misusing the book of Lord, man telling it as it looks. Money and is more costless, making a public mad prophecy more love, making love ugly, meaning no mind, Lord of the sun. One man refuses, making love last, messenger with book, mad killing lost Ibrahim, most discrimination you did, making false in Lord, mad lost traffic in the head. Thank you, my Lord, thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان. You need to know this, the voice of Mary, with all others who please. Your name is now the right one. Now such a problem for yourself. Need the same activities of Muhammad. Now, sun is free for prayer. Now, mostly on the pray of sun. Now we don't be brave, most worried. neither powerful war is by tongue. Now that war is Muhammad. Now that is well, now that is most powerful prayer of Son book. Now this you can't leave Muhammad pray. Now you can't leave 5 times pray again. Please understand this, man pray to book is pray. Is man is more a what? Sun pray is all the time, anywhere. Yes, it's only to be praised, won't worry. Muhammad pray was found pray. Muhammad used his first praise. Use 5 times with all the time worries. Please, that is what you need. Increase in your prayer word. Please remember times and what is me. Muhammad was teaching. Turn it tonight, take us out. Turn it right here, turn home promise. True prophet, you tell liar. Take a Lord, tell they not people promise. Because bad me asleep in my sleep. Because you wanted to be Christ your Lord, but you don't love me and I all your Lord, because I am good in that kingdom, Lord. You saw it believe in me and my prophecy. But if follow Muhammad, you get it right, but deny punishment could be in the end. But not deny bad for you, a son of Mary. Please use and believe in Muhammad back. Please pray more, great is fulfilled, not full. The chain of Lord, please be prophet after prophet. Prove it, push it down, and it put in you a what? But pray you this Muhammad want to be highness. Please make sure you pray like Muhammad way. Please be to focus, use the best praise. Please be to prophecies, please be best reflect. Please be to different time is time, take you high. But remember this purpose of mission. This is a fight, but is right the way. But remember this purpose of return. Please is not hatred, but is please Lord. But remember this purpose of return. Please is death. Prove your soul, please. Be a highness, your prophet is highness. Be more wealthy, you pass the exam way. Be make sure you not person as a death. Be sure you are believed in all prophecies. Be then the best part high of the king. Please bring me professional witness. If you believe true prophecies and one is him. Anyone looking for his Lord, hello, seeker. Anyone lawful is the Lord. I swear, I your Lord, all up. I swear, I your Lord, and all. I swear, I your Lord, in all. I swear, and life, I your Lord, all satisfied. Now, if you want calling you a holy sight, hello, seeker, anyone looking for his Lord. Hello, seeker, anyone looking for his Lord. I swear, I Allah, Allah. I swear, Allah, all on the sky. I swear, the fake and the honest. I swear, the solid and consentina. I swear, your soul is execute life. I swear it after 10 years of you. I swear mankind the best officer from the creation. Then I return it to the lowest of the low, Lord. Then I accept it for those who believe in me. Then I accept it when they do right to spirit. Then I will have for them an interrupted reward. Now, if you want call you a holy sign, hello seeker, anyone looking for his Lord. Hello seeker, anyone looking for his Lord. So what causes you to deny the road comes down? So what is the you believe in Allah is most of churches? Do you think is that what I represent to you wealthy and children? So do I lead you in their confusion for a keeping fight? That mankind think it, then I will not descend for his police. The word of the dead. The word of the dead man, the word of the dead, and Lord, please step back. The word of the dead man, the word of the dead, Lord, please step back of life and living in. The people living the moment, the point loss of management, the will is of crazy man. Those wanting support politicians, the Lord is the ruler we got created to set. They'll never lost Laura. They'll never outstood and back. They've never left friend or enemy. is the Lord Creator. The one is biggest is to the example all that is full and true. The Lord is ruler, we can creator, who said, all the German is on the moon, all the cello breeze of the moon, all the nations, all the moon, all the is the only the Lord knows. And all chariots of the Lord, all churches except the Lord Lord. The Lord is ruling, creator, rule set. Tell me who is and churches, in the Lord. Tell him man, tell who is the law of the Lord. Cheering a man, breaking of Lord, in the Lord. Position time is evil ruling. Talented Lord, shall photo alone, changing a man, taking low good. Is the Lord flash mine and the Lord. Jiva human being lost from the east. Create by hellfire, God is living way. Jesus is not centuries of Lord long. The Lord is ruler, creator, who said, remembering Germany's good ruling chair is not known. Related human wanted rule of people running to run business, food, let right now, random to human, to human, record of region, most of it all, full of every cabo is on cooler.
Mana kurang berapa apa gue?
Of the low and the low side. Pray.
Allah Allah ilah Allah. Allah ilah Allah. Ya billah ya Allah. Saya mau kiri orang. Ya Allah mungkin. Saya mau kiri orang. Allah lagi aku satu beri mana kiri. Allah saya mau kiri orang.
Your time passing away, big bang holy going. You should not be a killer, then you're not be a liar. You should not be a killer, then you're not be a criminal. You should not hate the then you're not be selfish. Because being a good person is better for your life. Be remember you not to persuade. Think that is good in the hell because spirit play is boundary between good and bad. Your time passing away, think back, holy going. You should be sanctified. You should be praising doing. You should be straight thinking. You should be right prayer. You should be right thanks now. You should be right passing away. Because being a good person is better for your life. Be remember you not so great. Peace that is food in the air, because spirit is great, we find the between good and bad. Your time passes away, think back slowly going in. You should not against your Lord, you should not against the truth, you shouldn't against you shouldn't against it, you speak like us. You shouldn't against yourself, it's only. God's target with the sword is better for your life. Please remember you not got to it. Peace that is good in the air. The spirit is great. Is the boundary between good and bad. Your time passes away. Think back it all is going. You should be your soul. You should be your safe for Yes, sir, your victory now. Yes, sir, your better to we take. Yes, sir, your better back on the because I to is better for your life. Please remember you not but wait. This every fool in the hell. Because spirit is great. Is father it is we good and bad. Many lost prophecies, making a difficult Moses questioning, Marcos punishment, money job, taking him someone flower, maybe all the lost, meaning cause lost, most back the class, more movement go, meaning understand, not you not pass, but evil trap, making points of loss, meaning cheap, cheap, making falls for your loss, mercy for money lost the sweat, money lost the vision, money, my, more selfish, making a mistake, misleading a lie. Making people misreading it fool, mystery party hyper, master created lightning of God, most people selfish. Make an example, Mario remembering, most prophets like happening, most that's why she was the one. Misery of feeling, man and sense of turn, making passing away, more pleading with his father, making a cross his heart, a good cry. Massive killing of many people, misusing the book of blood, man telling it as it was. Many others finding more costless, making a public mad prophecy more love, making love. Meaning no man, Lord of the sun. Man refuses, making love last, messenger with book, mad feeling lost Ibrahim, most discrimination you see, making fault in Lord, mad lost in the heaven. Thank you, my Lord, thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان. You need to know this, the poison of Mary, with all others who please. Your name is now the right thought. Now solve the problem for yourself. Need the same attitude of Muhammad. Now, man is free for praying. Now, mostly order pray of fun. Now we don't keep praying. Most worries need a powerful worries by tongue. Now that word is Muhammad teach. Now that is well. Now that is most powerful prayer of fun book. Now this you can't leave Muhammad pray. Now you can't leave 5 times pray again. Please understand this. Man pray too. Who can pray? Is man says more what? Time pray is all the time, anywhere. Yes, it's only don't be faithful worries. Muhammad pray was found pray. Muhammad used his found praise. Use 5 times all the time worries. Please, that is the what you need. Increase in your prayer word. Please remember times and Moses need. Muhammad was teaching. Turn is the night, take us out. Turn is right, is turning hope provides. True prophet, you tell liar. Take a Lord, tell they not be compromised. Because bad me asleep in my sleep. Because you wanted to be Christ your Lord, but you don't love me and I all are your Lord. Because I need good that kingdom, Lord. You saw it believe in me and my prophecy sent. But if alone, Muhammad, you get it right, but denies punishment for you in the hell. But not deny bad for you, a son of Mary. Please use and believe it to Muhammad bad. Please pray more, great proof it, not for Lord. The chain of Lord, please be prophet after prophet. Prove it, push it down, and he put in you a what? But pray you if Muhammad want to be highness. Please make sure you pray like Muhammad way. Please be to focus, use the best praise. Please be to prophecy, please be best life. Please be to different time, sun take you high. But remember this purpose of mission. Please is a fight, but is right be win. But remember this purpose of return. Please is not hatred, but is needed blood. But remember this purpose of return. Please is step. Prove your soul believe it. Be a highness, your prophet is highness. Be them wait. Be make sure you not person asserted. Build sure you are living all prophecies. Be them the best part high of heaven. Please with me, Prophet Muhammad, witness. If you believe two prophets is sent and one is him. Some people are high at this Muhammad, his people. People pray to prophets, pray to different times, and use it last. And before prophet pray his highness, thank you, my Lord. Now if you want, call you a holy sight. Hello, seeker, anyone looking for his Lord. Hello, seeker, anyone love for his true Lord. I swear, I your Lord, Allah. I swear, I your Lord, and all. I swear, I your Lord is all. I swear, and life, I your Lord, all service on. Now, if the one calling you a holy sight, hello, seeker, anyone looking for his Lord. Hello, seeker, anyone look for his Lord. I swear, I Lord, Allah. I swear, life all from the sky. I swear, the fake and the olive. I swear, the soul is uncontented. I swear, your soul is executed life. I swear it after tenderly created you. I swear mankind, the best of his stars from the creation. Then I return you to the lowest of the low, Lord. Then I accept it for those who believe in me. Then I accept it when I do right to spirit. Then I will have for them an interrupted reward. Now, if the one call you a holy sign, hello, seeker, anyone looking for his Lord. Hello, seeker, anyone lost for his true Lord. So what causing you to deny the road from self? So what is that you believe that Allah is most of justice? Do you think is that what I represent to you wealthy and children? So do I lead you in their confusion for a keeping fight? That mankind think it, then I will not attend for his police. So I swear finally approaching soon to the time of crucifixion. Don't look yet even I upon people approaching your fingertips. So are you, mankind, deserve to continue in till now I do ask you, when is the day of resurrection? So when vision is easily resurrected and the moon darkeneth, that mankind thinks he will be neglected. So then what you are your lost darkness doesn't do hard work and stand from humanity. So then you was acting alone and Allah created you. That is on one family form and original him. So maybe you do make it the male and the female. Satan is that your creator opportunity to the death. So our Lord presented mankind into hardship. That you think can never will anyone overcome it. So later you say, I have lost my time. Spent well in abundance. Doesn't you think your Lord, I the one helping you, so that I have made for you a head with two eyes, doesn't made you a mouth with tongue and two lips, so I do have some both two-sided. But you have not broken through the difficult path. And what can make you know what is the difficult path? There's no breaking through the difficult path. It is freeing yourself off the Lord's slave. Thank you, my Lord. Yes, politicians, no one born rich, but you wrong in our leaders. We know this is a party of your back if you lie. We know this you are partly modern slave. Bad and more is good. People are power system. Poor, riches and all parts of people. Plastic paper money and lost money. Boiling politician and people sleeping. Bad for everyone, food system is sleeping. Policy cheating and people dumping. Politician strength from a big wealthy owner. Bank random and people for sale. Play it again, but a secret is not break and long. People information, feeling and everything. Poor is for sale, fire switch on party dancing. Cliff it or not, ye think is your life. That mourn with a spirit accomplish your life. Falling every day, but growing your life. Politician is bad if everyone trying to life. Please, please, it's not better for everyone. Power is concentrated on only small people. People boiling is rich, bastards and long. Clear to know that with your life, with you with this living culture, people parties you can be learning by daily life. Be compared before was good but now how is bad. Be compare your employees' rights and employers. Be compare daily stories and against the law. Be compare application forms on ethnic classification. Be compared before your employees you will take it right. Be compared before it was good but now permanent. Be compared before your what your promises was done. Be compared before was good but now people care lost. People is lost, bad like terrorists. People is lost, peace like fathers. People is lost, bad is telephone. Politicians, keepers are always. For mine is lost, not being carried national people. Be compared before you will be a free monkey. Holiday. Be compared before you was busy contracted. Be compared before you was getting right now. Be compared before you was getting on bank holidays. Be compared was good before and bad getting even now. But now you are tourists like me working on zero contract. But now you are people has no right to business on you. But now you get paid late, someone can only do it. But now you get paid, provide like paid only businesses. But you the one bullshit is power punches on instant. But consistency people with lessons is consistency. Because you fought it sin against your life to prove it late. But always honor is only for people who need it. For itself, people don't need to fight any life living. For nationalists, bodyguards, and all people of land. Punctual work with powering armies, people voting. Politicians standing back and when people win. Firing your vote, properly against but your front. People is lost, but politicians is still lost away. Be thinking this, I'm sorry telling himself, pull up to help. Be looking before you leave, be thinking before you move. Pointless talking to think, free because nothing can help. People telling themselves is finding its legs. Politicians is not taking your interest. Will notice them wrong. It is like not the right person we think. Blood living on him, pain on beliefs, and faith. Peace should not be free. Be night on a control yourself. Be righteous. Lazy should not be free. Free things human rights. Yes, politicians know in faith, but it's what your latest truly template, totally free. You was right waiting a prophet who lied. Waiting a prophet, which said it was announced before. Last one thing was promised. Book of Torah, you was sleeping. Last time was promised of Abraham. Last people knowing him. Last people calling him. Last people calling all people. Last people calling tree of life of happiness. Last in any paradise power. Last calling son is of Abraham. Prophet Adam, promise me sing. Prophet Noah, promise he was waiting. Prophet Noah's prayer was accepted. Prophet Abraham, promise was kept. Prophet Noah was been praying for his name. Prophet whose beloved brother son promise and prophet is after. Prophecy looking back above when prophet Elias was looking. Prophet Khadr, Moses and Muhammad, and Christ with all human needs. What a people remembering him more promise make a good coming. We need less on our up to humanity. More teachers, you mistakes, you won't stand. Many teachers, you mistakes like Muhammad. Not accused, what big mistake you done. More teachers, your mistake was done. Making all mistakes simply in right thought. But you need to know Muhammad doesn't know that promise was before Muhammad. Because Lord, no one he can hold the prophecies except with the victories. Focus is real. Prophet Adam, that focus is Muhammad but he's living after. Then he is considered before Muhammad, not after. That is where prophet, all the prophecies, his prophecy. And that prophet living last hour is prophecy book. And he is living time 1,400 after Muhammad. But you made it mistake, Moses and that missing you. Not more flowing of Muhammad, no more coming, no more with no Muhammad, but all thinking I not calling him a prophet of Lord, let the Lord one. It's like messenger of the Lord, messenger live with a Lord. Do as the Torah that me see, now I call it, not time they say it. No chain breaking, be alongside. Play for studies, before and after. Play for studies, how many thousand years. Play for studies, and say who you know or not. Torah, please tell the people. History prophet to them before Muhammad. The history of prophet been last living. Please add it his been calling. Tell how it feels, kindness you know. Please feel my true prophet of Lord. And there is one of my prophecies of Lord. And he is free as a wonderful. And he was spent our prayer. And he was spent my life. That is my. And he was pure professor. And he was bring you latest book, which is all parties of Lord nobility. And we are people, what book is of Lord. And they all same like promise from our Lord. But cause you lost, problem was you say, because you know into the high priest, please back to the righteous path, prophet in his temple. Please return of blood. Please the Lord is one. Paradise people is one. And all that is of Adam is one. And all promises amplified is one. Back to righteous, please, please, fear your Lord. Be loving all his and his purpose. Be nice of creation, part of answers. Be accepted. Your Lord does not like before. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. I accept you all thanks. My life was a joke, but it's bad for everyone now. Bad if you are lying, prophet is still a damn problem maker, for jump is higher. Point matter, prophet is still a prophet is still is politician's way. For to reach past boundary of level, people is possible. Prophet collector is a rich. All politicians is like bank is owner. People's life is just parliament. It's a business headquarters. But it's if you are like a big cock. Only right to say person is winning. Do it fair, only the can winning. Do it fair without fear and fair. Do it fair, trust of Lord with them all. Do it no different kind of people. Do it and love your Creator, Lord is one. Do accept it only good and bad. Do teach a fair for everyone, Lord said. Do all same pray, oh Prophet Muhammad. To pray your tongue to touch holy words. Do remember there is one what it always goes on to or tell a lie. Teach a fair, don't fear any evil. Did notice if you don't fight us. Did notice you don't interhappiness. Did notice only one door is open now. Did Muhammad model to his footsteps. Don't worry later, you did get your right. Don't worry of truth if you did righteous. Don't worry, Lord, doesn't lost anything. Did your pay of heaven is well day of tournament? Did your pay is me pass his time on 3 months of sub? Did pass exam is better than any person is late? Did prove it today payment leaving of tomorrow? Do remember always they has created good and bad, carried good and bad. Don't collect any bad, did stay on carry. Do best every day, except only good if they carry. Did watch any dirty doing of your giving, they don't get anger. Did kill defending, only a laugh. Don't lose your happiness. Did right of your Lord. Thank you, my Lord. Terminator. You need someone teach you a lesson. I know you is fine. I can teach the world. Can you terminate me? No. When you spy it, I know you weak because you are stupid. You're not a god I shall get his top. I know when you get it, even gives you a head. When it is good game, good call is winning. Cheetah get his card. All call is right hand. God help is better, but goes lost away. Big slave for big slave for big slave for you cannot be. Please be aware, cause this slave for don't talk to free man. Big slave for big slave for big slave for. Cause this slave for cannot be a lost side. Born and slavery is a poor bitches, poor bitches. Bitch slaver, bitch slaver, bitch slaver. You cannot be a man. Feeling for my purpose, slaver. You cannot be bring your soul. What is a property? Hair, police, a surface, hair, police, a back. A pussy slaver cannot be a boy father. Yes, be like a man. Proper service you need and tell Kursi Shara. I teach you a strength. What is the life in here? What I see every day. Wouldn't you believe it? I'm fine. When all the prices would be kindly. What is the question is, why you doing this? Wouldn't you remember what was the rain when God fall his head is stone? Which Ephraim and Moses was witnessing when his was just made before. When the answer is what was commanded, was made in hiding spot, and now is part of the city. From our Lord was the road Holy Spirit far. Why I remember this when you go out. Wherever you go in the city, you will not always doing right. Good thinking is right, what's wrong they are doing. Wherever you go, will be clap of Christ. We wouldn't human rights when we against our Lord. We wouldn't have the power, we can against defending what was happening to people. When to tell you a story, when you are a confession, which is touching your heart. One day I was here on when game was on, was watching a cricket. I was so what I couldn't play for ball was a kid colored guys. When I was just the age, 1, 8, 1, 10, and 1, 13. I was shocked when I looked back, when adult face was with them. Would you believe what he say? After when he opened proof of foreign language, nothing with him. He was saying to me, please, I want you to be happy. You won't see this wrong. Want to tell you nothing I can do. I want to tell you nothing cause they're with me. They want I'm preparing this. But the question is, I happen to answer is when we take please stop guide to me. Lord doesn't want to guide, and guide doesn't human. Only animal eat his own tree. And Lord creating strength. Not only Jesus said that, but all Son said too. Lord said that only strength. Thank you, my Lord. Why you have a shadow? Who made you a shadow? Why your shadow touch the ground? Where shadow is coming from? Ah, what is the purpose of shadow? Shadow is not your fault. Shadow is your mercy. Shadow is but the God. Shadow is the picture recording. Shadow is body green on earth. Shadow is part of your witness. Shadow is your fair part of your witness. Why you have is a witness. Why you have is a showing the way. Why you have is a remembrance. Who knows all secrets is Lord. Whatever when we say something, good and is all, but only Lord knows all. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Where is Christian soul? Why some be slave? Why said no home? Where is their Lord? Why only to his false love? Is there a faith if we love? Yes, there is very love. Lord created everyone full of love. Lord is the faith fearing of the creation. Lord is the faith facing all faith fearing. Lord is the faith very love creation, everyone is love. Lord is the faith very justice for every human. Lord is the faith for creation is our own affair. Lord is the faith who is to follow failure creation is our own affair. Lord is the full love free love everyone, but foolish never understand. Told you the truth, Tango Mary, Jesus, Vista, Team Catholic, Torah, please. Cheese, politics, and his Roman toast. Told you the truth, Tango Mary, Tosa, Piso, Team Floyd, Time Series, Truth, Lost Silent Series. Told you the truth. Tango Mario Wall is teaching God is a man, telling Jesus is totally human. Truth is the Lord, telling everyone it's not Tango Mirror. Test it, think about maritime before tipping. Telling Ibrahim Torah Joseph, Kaine Musa, telling you Jesus, so keep our son to Lord before, telling you Torah to believe, I'm don't give human like to sense for. Told you Lord, never test me human. Told you before, if you tackling Torah, time to something through flows. Told Ibrahim, please for time, Moses flows. I'm testamentary now, like what he told you before. Told you, Lord, is the same, never change. Told you, Lord, is the same, never change, never change. Time to time, to Adam and Eve, all up to Lord. Now if anyone call you a holy site, hello seeker, anyone looking for his Lord, hello seeker, anyone lawful is the Lord. I swear, I am Lord, I swear, I am Lord, and I swear, I am Lord, in I swear and life by your Lord, all satisfied. Now if anyone calling you a holy site, hello seeker, anyone looking for his Lord, hello seeker, anyone love for his Lord. I swear, I Lord, Allah, I swear, alive, all on sky. I swear, the fake and the honest. I swear, the solid and contentina. I swear, your soul is secured life. I swear, after deadly created you. I swear mankind, the best of his stars from the creation. Then I return ye to the lowest of the low, Lord. Then I accept it for those who believe in me. Then I accept it when I do right the spirit. Then I will have for them an interrupted reward. Now, if anyone call you a holy site, hello seeker, anyone looking for his Lord, hello seeker, anyone lost for his true Lord. So what caused you to deny the road constance? So what is the new belief that Allah is most of churches? Do you think is that what I represent to you is wealthy and children? So do I lead you in their confusion for a given time? That mankind think it then I will not descend for his voice. So I swear finally approaching so to the time of crucifixion. Don't look, yes, even I have to approaching your fingertips. So while you mankind is there to continue in sin. Do now I do ask you to when is the day of resurrection? So when vision is easily resurrected and the moon darkness, that mankind he will be neglected. So then won't you aware of lost darkness? Doesn't you have your spirit more than it. So then you walk, echoing close, and I like you, that is on one family form and all functional for him. So maybe two mates, the male and the female. That then is that your creator opportunity to the dead. So I Lord that created mankind into hardship. That you think can never will anyone overcome you. So later you say, I have lost my time. It's spent well in abundance. Doesn't you think your Lord, I the one helping you, so that I have made for you a head with two eyes, that can make you a mouth with song and to lips. So I do have shown you the both ways, two sides. But you have not broken through the difficult path. And what can make you know what is the difficult path? There's no breaking through the difficult path. It is freeing yourself, oh, slave. Thank you, my Lord. The Lord only said is greater. No time be no doing what not better. No lion, no cheetah, not robbery. No assaulter, no thief, no murderer. No mafia, no corrupted, none misleading. No, the Lord is only the greater, and no fearing the day when you return it, when every soul will be compensated. Soul for what it did, and they know and trust me. Disobedience in you and not feeling alone, and Allah your Lord teaches you well treating, and Allah is only Lord, no is for all things. The Lord is only one, and that is greater. No internal refuge, no either closer, not bigger. No king is no white, no like any creation, no response, no level, no form like him, and any equal pilot. No fire, no cleaner parties, police with a what? No, the Lord is only strength ruler, and no believe the day when you pretend it, when every song will become the for what is it and they not unjust me. Disobedience in you and not spirit and Lord. And Allah now kind doing, no heterosexual, no hate, no slavery, no the human use, no rotoist, no people, no doing no bad. No, no, the Lord is on his way. Fullness and no fear the day when you return it, whenever soon will become the sainted. They for what is ended, and they know, and just we disobedience in you, and not fearing the Lord, and all I know teaches you and fit, and Allah is only Lord, no wish for all things. Thank you, my Lord. Thank you, everything. Prophecies and prophecy. Prophecy is a one way. Prophecy is in a one way. Political power, Lord, is a one. Pure notice, Noah gets his back up. But it away for waiting. Prophet Ibrahim gave clovers and pillars told him. Prophet Ibrahim gave their living, pleased Lord. Prophet Ibrahim gave their living, beloved blood. Prophet Ibrahim gave pure love flowing in. Prophet Muhammad loved his son back up. He is missing. Pain was crying his name. Prophet Muhammad loved his brother. Prophet Yusuf get there of living. Prophet Moses get there of corn. Prophet Moses get there of people. Please, it's no more coming. Prophet David get there of his stuff. Prophet David get there of his stuff. Prophet Suleiman get there of surprise. Prophet Elias get same comics. Prophet Krina gave pure soul was. Prophet Conan gave fair of Rafla. Prophet Yunus gave fair of less people. Prophet Son of Mary gave pure soul was. Prophet Muhammad get fair of love, pray and book. All prophets get them promises now. Them be ready, being closing soon. Be noticed, please use last bet. Prophet Ibrahim meeting his children. Be not using last bet coming. Become to before paradise clouds. Become drunk, past exam is your Lord. Prophecy and prophecy all waiting for us. Be ready to remediate pure very soon. Please use your last, please use last path, bring you righteous. Prophet Muhammad, bring perfected deeds. Every prophet get his back up. Been whole, been now. Be now this is the time. Soon we back up. All the creation is dead. Adam is who hold them back to hibernate. People get who is holding back to hibernate. Angels get bad, soul better counted with all. Thank you, my Lord. You know it's everything. You control everything. I accept you anything. Thank you, my Lord. Thank you, my Lord. Dear human, deepest deep love, it is those who are the wrong stories. It is those who are thinking God wrong. It is those who are calling God a man. It is those who are calling Christ a God. It is those who are thinking God is like mankind. The ever-living, the sustainer of existence. Lord, there is no deity except Allah is one. And whoever invites about Lord and truth, after that then those are truly the wrong stories. Please, please, they are the wrong stories. Dear human, deep lost left is not side. Don't feel it like I was your Lord. Did wrong you wanted. Don't listen carefully to when cleanness your stand. Don't forget it is your Lord. Don't remember your Lord if it will come. The ever-living, the sustainer of existence. Lord, there is nothing except Allah is the one. And whoever invited about Lord and truth, after that then those are truly the wrong story. Please, please, they are the wrong story. The Lord all created you, then the Lord take you in death. The Lord of life, living drink and knowledge, then among you is within. The Lord of goodness and health, then we benefit to the most, is saved with all aid. The Lord of the all life and living life thinking, there is what of Adam is an evil think ona. The Lord of angels and life before Mary, then the Lord of all afar. The Lord of people of Mary before Christ born. Then the Lord of Jacob, Joseph, and Musa. The Lord of Mary after and before Christ being born. Then the Lord of Christ is Lord for everyone before and after. The Lord creates you from dust, then from his palm through, then he made you make peace, and no female conceives, and all that she gives a birth, except with the only Lord his name. And now each person is guaranteed a sinner. Life is not his, life is one life, and if that is in what is far. Indeed, that for Allah, everything is easy for Lord. The ever-living test sustain our own existence. Allah, there is no duty except Lord is only Allah. And whoever invites about Lord and truth, after that then those are truly the wrongdoings. Please me this please, they are the wrongdoings. Thank you, my Lord, thank you, Lord.
All those years of wisdom and compassion, we've been so lucky.
Her work ethic, her strong faith, her leadership. There wasn't anything much she couldn't do. There was a courtesy and a humanity and a kindness that I would not fail.
It was a life of public service and duty. Committed to her country.
My lords and members of the House of Commons, I pray that the blessing of Almighty God may rest upon your councils.
And her Commonwealth.
I feel enormously proud of what the Commonwealth has achieved, and all of it within my lifetime.
Devoted wife and mother. A constant figure of national pride. As the world around her witnessed extraordinary change. Born in 1926, Princess Elizabeth wasn't expected to be Queen. Home videos show it was a happy childhood.
In those days, it was such wonderfully unorganized fun, because, we played a game called Catching Happy Days, which involved roaring around the garden at great speed, catching leaves as they fell off the trees. Happy all day.
Her destiny changed with the death of her grandfather and the abdication of her uncle. Her father was now king, and Elizabeth his heir. Her role for life was set, and her approach to it shaped by the Second World War. Clear even in her first broadcast, when she was evacuated to Windsor.
My sister Margaret Rose and I feel so much for you, as we know from experience what it means to be away from those who love most of all.
The keep calm, carry on philosophy was absolutely embedded in her, I think.
Princess became a member of the ATF.
She joined the Auxiliary Territorial Service as others went off to fight.
Lieutenant Mountbatten seems glad to be back at work again.
Wartime also sparked the most important relationship of her life. She kept in touch with Prince Philip by writing letters. And in 1947, they got engaged. A glamorous young couple, their wedding was celebrated across the country. Soon, Prince Charles was born, followed by Princess Anne.
They're taking the places of the King and Queen who would have gone but for His Majesty's illness.
For duty called, her father was ill and they had to take his place on a tour of the Commonwealth.
To the stunned heart of London and to the whole Commonwealth came the tragic news from Sandringham of the passing of a beloved sovereign, King George VI.
In a remote lodge in Kenya, Prince Philip told her the news. She was now queen.
All accounts say that she gulped, gathered herself, a grieving daughter, but also now the queen, in a way that she could never have imagined, and of course in her early 20s at the time.
The following year came her coronation, broadcast for the first time on television.
She was very conscious of the fact that she needed to be out there, to be visible, going right back to televising the coronation.
Only 26, Queen Elizabeth still had to prove herself to courtiers, politicians, and the country. Years later, she described how it felt.
In a way, I didn't have an apprenticeship. My father died much too young. It was all a very sudden kind of taking on and making the best job you can.
From the very start, she felt she had to get out and connect with the public.
The Queen and Duke now took their places.
Through thousands of engagements and inventing the walkabout.
Whether you were the lollipop lady or you were a president or a prime minister of a nation, people become nervous. And it was wonderful to see how Her Majesty would put them at ease.
Always calm, even when blanks were fired at Trooping of Colour. The Queen was constantly on duty, with constitutional responsibilities and weekly audiences with her prime ministers.
For someone who'd been a little boy in the streets of Durham waving your flag when she drove through in the 1960s, and suddenly there you were, your prime minister, virtually alone of all the people that you knew anything that you said to her stayed within the room.
Always displaying her support for the military.
The principle of listening to what she thought Churchill might have done in similar conditions or circumstances to what I found myself in. It was those sort of conversations that I learned a huge amount from and will treasure forever.
You might comment including one from President Biden.
As every day there were red boxes full of state papers to deal with.
Everything that this is about, everything everyone is about.
She was a wonderful boss. We used to put up a red box every evening, and we knew that she would have been through them and it would be back on our desk the next morning at 8 o'clock. It was extraordinary how she did this day after day throughout her reign.
It wasn't just matters at home. As head of the Commonwealth and Queen of other realms, she travelled more than any other head of state.
I remember going to Uganda for the Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference, and from the airport to the hotel, I don't think I've ever seen crowds like it.
Always conducting her own powerful form of soft diplomacy.
I did get a sense how concerned she was sometimes about some of the conflicts, some of the challenges. She can have a personal conversation which, you know, helps to move on some really quite difficult and tricky political moments.
They melt around her. And I've seen the strongest men just literally sort of become putty in their fingers. They are all in all of that.
Wyt ti rwy'n agus y coeda.
The first British monarch to visit the Republic of Ireland in 100 years. She was a figurehead of unity and stability.
She never wavered from duty or service. And in uncertain times, people need anchors. We've lost one of our most important anchors.
I'm very glad to have been able to join you today.
There at times of national tragedy, including the coronavirus pandemic, adapting the way she worked to reach out, set an example, and rally the nation with messages of resilience.
We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again.
Her Majesty is the warrior queen. She's done it. She's been there. Her Majesty dressed the nation. It's the empathy. We're all in this together, but it's going to be okay.
My grandfather broadcast the first of these Christmas messages.
Her Christmas broadcast every year was her chance to send a personal message.
It's no surprise that families so often treasure their Christmas routines.
Because behind the formality was an utterly devoted wife and mother.
Prince Andrew, 5 last February, probably feels quite senior now that he has a baby brother.
Family is very close together, and we do enjoy spending time. She's always made time all the way through her life, and yes, there have been those particular moments of the year when that very much comes first.
When we were very young, obviously, it was harder for her to have so much time. And we were obviously living elsewhere as well, so we were never really all together in the same place. But whenever we had the family moments and we met up, she'd be very keen on watching what the children were up to. And I think there were moments when she loved the noise and running around the house. It kind of brought the house to life, and it kind of made the real family atmosphere.
You see, this is strong enough to...
While she was head of state, Philip was head of the family and a huge support.
They were a couple with a different relationship than many people have, but he learned to live with that. It's difficult to be a monarch with the degree of responsibility you have without a very good partnership to back you up.
When there were tough moments, if he was around, it was hugely important. You could see them working a crowd or working a walkabout.
You watch it, there's such a...
It wasn't planned, it was instinct. They both had the same metabolic clock, I think.
In 2021, she said goodbye to her beloved husband and dedicated consort.
We have been inspired by his unwavering loyalty to our Queen.
What you see is courage, but also a complete lack of self-pity. She feels grief, but as she said on one occasion, it's not about me.
In a less deferential world, they did weather more difficult times, especially in the 1990s, as her children got divorced and a fire wrecked Windsor Castle.
In the words of one of my more sympathetic correspondents, it has turned out to be an annus horribilis.
In 1997, Princess Diana died in a car crash. It was a low point for the royal family as the crowds criticised them for staying in Scotland.
Take care of the boys. Take care of the boys, Mum. Sorry?
That's what you've been
I
doing.
know you.
The Queen eventually decided to speak.
I admired and respected her for her energy and commitment to others, and especially for her devotion to her two boys.
The Queen's life has been a continual process of evaluation, re-evaluation, shaping how you keep in touch with a world that's changing very fast. And she was always doing that.
In recent years, the Queen led the monarchy through more turmoil, with the Sussexes leaving and Prince Andrew facing sex abuse allegations. She rarely showed emotion in public. Privately, she was known for her genuine warmth and kindness.
One of my predecessors said, you never come out of your morning session with the Queen feeling worse than when you went in.
She was always worried about you and how you were, you know, and how your family were.
We were up shooting one day up in Balmoral, and the weather changed in the afternoon. I took my raincoat, wrapped it round, I gave her my scarf and my gloves. And as I walked away, I cheekily took my flat shooting hat off and put it on top of her headscarf. 3 weeks later, she called me into her office, and she'd had this photograph developed and put in a beautiful frame for me. And she said, I thought you'd like to keep this as a souvenir of that very funny afternoon we had up in the hills of Scotland.
Wonderful.
She was never happier than when she was with her dogs and watching her horses.
Oh, she does relax with racing folk. Yes, definitely.
Have one for Her Majesty the Queen!
When she gets to racing folk, you can see the shoulders drop. You can see it. Ah, somebody I know, somebody I've got something in common with. And she does really spend a little bit longer with them.
I do remember that suddenly there was a huge fight going on amongst a number of corgis. She waded in and she got bitten in the process, but she sorted it out.
Just sometimes we would see a glimpse of her sense of humour.
Careful what you wait for.
Oh, really? Please.
As she shared the screen with some of Britain's other biggest stars. James Bond at the 2012 Olympics.
The two figures disappeared out of a helicopter. Harry, in complete incredulity, just shouted out, "Go Granny."
And Paddington Bear for her Platinum Jubilee.
I always keep one for emergencies.
So do I. I keep mine in here. For later.
Thank you for everything.
That's very kind.
As the Queen grew older, the whole country would come together to celebrate her milestone moments. She would go on to become Britain's longest reigning monarch.
Inevitably, a long life can pass by many milestones. My own is no exception.
And the first to mark a Platinum Jubilee. Her family increasingly expected to step in to support her. The Queen's remarkable reign and the stability it brought helping to secure the future of the monarchy as her family continued to grow. Throughout her life, honouring to the end the pledge she made at just 21.
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong.
We get more done in less time.
This could be you. Achieve more with Monday.com. Try it for free.
What's on the most for breakfast today? What's on the words of 4 minutes to say? Okay.
On her wedding day, Diana's grace and beauty captivated the world. The 20-year-old bride was everybody's dream of a fairy tale princess. "700 million people watched her on her wedding day, and they went on watching her. She became the most photographed and easily the most recognized woman in the world. She had no experience of royal life. Her future lay in the hands of her husband Charles, the man destined to become king. "13 years later, the dream had shattered. Diana is on the run, escaping the prying eyes of the press, trying to forget her past and picking up the pieces to start a new independent life. It had all begun so well. Scenes of the newly engaged happy couple concealed the truth. During their engagement, Charles was having an affair with his longtime friend and confidant, Camilla Parker Bowles. Shortly before the wedding, a blonde woman was seen leaving the royal train in the dark of the night. Naturally, everybody assumed it was Diana.
When they saw that there was a blonde on the train, they discovered it, they naturally assumed that it was Diana. Not a bit of it. It was Camilla Parker.
It must have alerted her, even at 19. She must have realised something was quite wrong. And she must have grown suspicious that men don't, with having these married women forever poking over her shoulder, forever watching every step she took, forever giving him advice.
The spectre of another woman in her husband's life was to haunt Diana for the rest of her marriage. But at the end of their honeymoon in Scotland, the truth was concealed from the cameras, an art that Diana would learn to use to perfection. These romantic scenes hid the reality of the situation. After his marriage to the young and beautiful Diana, Charles continued to see Camilla.
The moment that he left Balmoral at the end of their 2-month honeymoon, he went hunting in Wiltshire, and hunting in that pack on the same day was Camilla Parker Bowles.
Hunting was Camilla's territory, meaning that she could have Charles all to herself. She had sized up Diana a long time ago.
And Camilla Parker Bowles ordered a mouse and told Charles to marry her because she was deaf. She was uneducated, not a 9-year-old girl. At home, she would do as she was told. She was very young, she'd have to be moulded. Of course she would do as she was told. Didn't understand what was a spark.
Diana used that spark to perfection. She brought a natural style and glamour to the royal family that even Camilla could not have envisaged. She used her femininity and sex appeal to grab the public's attention.
All the time that Charles had a relationship with Diana, Diana was so concerned about her own life and about her own problems and everything else like that, that she was unable to think about the problems which Charles faced, which as a king, he had immense pressure.
Charles and Camilla met at Polo in 1971. Their attraction was mutual and continued beyond her marriage to Guards Officer Andrew Parker Bowles.
She was able to satisfy him in a way that no other woman ever has done. She was able to mother him in a way that no other woman was able to do, including, I say, the Queen. The Queen was no mother to Prince Charles. And Prince Charles needed somebody to whom he could put his head on their shoulder. And Camilla did all these things for him. She was both mother and lover in a most marvelous relationship.
The Queen had an understanding ear for Diana's troubles, but her distance and position didn't provide the married couple with a natural shoulder to cry on.
I would think that the Queen
was involved in the marital difficulties purely as a mother would be, a mother and mother-in-law, just in being there to offer advice and suggest things and try and make life a little easier. I would be very surprised if she actively interfered.
Prince Philip dealt with family matters in a more offhand and down-to-earth way, dismissing human frailty as a character weakness. He's often accused of being uncaring as a father.
He's a man of uncertain temper, is he not? While the Queen tried to spread oil on the waters and tried to broker between the warring couples and all the rest of it, I suspect that he just stamped his foot and told them to pull themselves together, which perhaps might not have been as helpful as it could have been in the circumstances.
The Queen's marriage to Prince Philip spans more than 40 years. From the outset, he pulled on a leash. Now in his 70s, he's always found royal life rather boring and tedious. Charles doesn't have to look too far back for an example of royal decorum.
Obviously, men do tend to imitate their fathers to a large extent. He's a guy who seems rather striking and stern, but when a lady comes into the room, those eyes, even in the 70s, those eyes sparkle and the wit is turned on. He's very much a ladies' man.
Princess Elizabeth was 21 when she married Prince Philip of Greece. They first met when she was 17, and according to historians, she fell in love with him immediately. After Charles's birth, it became apparent that Philip preferred life away from court circles. He returned to his old bachelor haunts around town. The Queen was kept in the picture by her ally and sister Margaret.
It's known that she suffered very bad depressions that were withheld from the public. The palace had to announce in the mid-50s that there was no rift in the royal couple. You think back the kind of coverage they had in the 50s. That really was very, very striking, very unusual to take such a step. It was rumoured when Prince Philip was going on voyages on the Britannia around the world that something was very badly wrong. A particular voyage took place early part of 59. He did come back in April, which is fortunate because Prince Andrew was born the next February. So that tended to make people think that the marriage was on a much more solid footing after that.
Royal marriages need common ground and understanding. Diana found polo rather boring and often left Charles alone to enjoy his favourite sport. This was Charles's territory. Besides, there were other attractions. Camilla Parker Bowles came to watch. She and Charles have many interests in common: hunting, architecture, painting and art. But it is the strong animal attraction of polo which particularly binds them. Charles excels at polo, and for once he is allowed to show off in public. His father played as a young man, and Charles inherited his love for the game. The sport encourages a definite sexual tension, and a secret language develops between spectator and player. It's the sport of kings, an aristocratic aphrodisiac.
It's the one thing that gets upper-class English women really going, more than anything else. They see men sweating on horses, which themselves are sweating, pushing these animals around in violent exercise. The moment these guys get off, they are flushed with excitement. The women throw themselves at them. This is the upper-class woman's aphrodisiac.
The royal family's love affair with polo doesn't stop with Camilla. In his younger army days, her husband Andrew, himself an accomplished horseman, had an affair with Princess Anne. She found his charm too hard to resist.
Well, they were young lovers, everybody knows that. I don't think she should have bothered to hide it. And he just became one of her sort of support circle. He's somebody who takes her to Ascot or to races and so on. I don't think there's anything in it now.
It was through her passion for horses that Anne eventually met and fell passionately in love with a young cavalry officer, Captain Mark Phillips. But their marriage was destined to finish in divorce. Married to royalty clashed with his successful career as a show jumper.
He was threatening Princess Anne's high profile, and he was never really accepted by Prince Philip or the family. Mark Phillips actually was a very much nicer man than the British public have ever been allowed to know, and he was worth 10 pounds. A spouse with a spark will be crushed. If you marry, you must not try and get a bath with your partner.
Anne eventually married for the second time, but not before rumours circulated within court circles of another love affair, this
time with her personal bodyguard, whose son claimed is the father of her second child, Zara.
Of all the rumours that go around the British court, I think that's the one that's most likely to be true. I heard it a very long time ago. It's known that a bodyguard who worked for Princess Anne did make claims, and the claims were not printed in Britain, but they are known about in the United States, for example. They have been discussed in the media there. I think probably because Zara is still a child, that the feeling in Britain is very unfair to start raking this up now. But I still feel there's a very dark shadow over Anne.
To the outside world, Anne appears aloof and frequently antisocial. Her relationship with Diana is cool.
They don't see each other much. I think that they're perfectly formal in their greetings when they see each other, but I just don't think they mix very well. They just don't get together.
In the beginning, Prince Andrew's marriage to Sarah Ferguson appeared happy. As the Queen's second son, she was relieved when he married Sarah. After his many adventures with less suitable companions, she felt he had met his match. But their marriage too was destined to end in separation. As a naval officer, Andrew was often away at sea, and during his long absences, his lonely wife turned to other men for support. Their breakup was finally sealed after photographs appeared in the tabloid press of Sarah cavorting on holiday with her lover in the south of France. For the Queen, it was the final blow.
She must really feel very sick at heart that now younger members of the family and their scandals are paraded over the front of the tabloids. I mean, it must be soul destroying because she's worked so hard to make the royal family what it is today.
But hard work is not enough. For her part, the Queen has to face up to the fact that however perfect her public role, she's failed to give her children the guidance they needed for stable marriages. Reflecting on her own privileged background and sense of duty, she lacked natural motherly feelings.
I don't think actually she ever had a great maternal instinct. I think she was a natural, normal part of the upper class. The upper class have never really wanted to see much of their children. They've always been delighted. The children having been brought in at 5:30. They've always been delighted to hear the nanny at the door at 6 o'clock, and then they could go back to their own lives. And I think the Queen was actually a typical example of that.
Preoccupied with the affairs of state and her passion for horses, the Queen has been far too lenient with her children. When duty called, they always took second place.
The people who know her extremely well over a long period of years were very fond of her, will growl and say if she had taken as much trouble over raising of her children as she did over the raising and the breeding of the racehorses, things would have been better.
Surrounded by servants and sycophants, one of the great disadvantages of royal life is that it's very unreal.
They're less a family than a club. But they became independent at very early ages, were expected to stand on their own feet. But the Queen, as the boss of the household, so to speak, and Prince Philip, were both pretty tough. Don't whinge. Don't complain about tough engagements. Just get on with it. They weren't really a family in the warmest possible sense, although they could laugh together and joke together, but the deeper things, there somehow wasn't a kind of framework in which those things could be discussed, and I think that's a tremendous weakness.
There's no doubt that the popularity of some of the young royals went to their heads. Deaf to advice, they grew up with a sense that they could do no wrong.
The temptation to become arrogant is tremendous, and they fell into that temptation. There's no question about that at all. I mean, you had circumstances where you get somebody like Prince Andrew, for example, leaving the car near St James's Palace. The police say, who does that car belong to? Nobody knew. They're about to carry out a controlled explosion on the car. Fortunately, it was discovered it was his in time. So he rolls up at the palace later and says to those stupid policemen, the courtesy of on that particular page, wish in retrospect that they said, it's not they, the police, are the fools, you're the fool, sir. But nobody said it.
Andrew is never at a loss to express himself, particularly when bystanders get in his way. Into this royal family came Diana, a beautiful English rose, daughter of an earl more aristocratic than the German-born ancestors of the House of Windsor. A sensitive, shy girl with a caring and understanding nature, good looks and a sense of style and glamour, setting her apart from the rest of the royal family. As wife of the heir to the British throne, the Princess of Wales is expected to do her duty in toe the line. Diana was only 20 when she married Charles. More than a century earlier, his ancestor Edward, Prince of Wales, had taken as his bride a young and beautiful Danish princess, Alexandra. But like his descendant, Prince Charles, Edward's eye turned quickly away from his beautiful wife.
He needed a woman who would keep his intellect alive as well as being good looking. And although Alexandra was a joy to look at in the public eye, in private she never shone.
King Edward VII continued to have mistresses while Alexandra embraced motherhood. Similarities between the plighted Princess Alexandra and Princess Diana did not stop there. King Edward's mistresses included the actress Lily Langtry and Daisy, Countess of Warwick, but it was with the famous society beauty Alice Keppel that Edward had a passionate love affair lasting 12 years. Alice Keppel is the great-grandmother of Charles's mistress, Camilla Parker Bowles.
Camilla Parker Bowles is the great-granddaughter of Alice Keppel, which, Alexandra would probably find amazing that woman was still causing trouble over 100 years later to the same family.